thousands of miles apart, but only with 1 mile in between them. We three friends decided to do an anime podcast. This is Quest for the Best.
I'm Tristan.
I'm Miles.
I'm very upset with you, Miles. Also, Geoff.
Quest for the Best is a cool podcast where we talk about the best anime of all time, put them on a list somewhere, and you give us very affirmative things in the comments more often than I'd expect. Thank you all so much for joining us this week.
For a second, I thought you had that scripted, and then you just fell off a cliff.
So I did have that scripted, and I did fall off a cliff. Both of those things can be true.
Okay. I'm glad we understood that.
You've you spent the whole flight back thinking about that one line, didn't you? You piece of garbage.
Yeah, I spent the whole flight thinking about how we should have done a Tron Ares episode of the podcast as a joke without Tristan and just posted on the YouTube channel without telling him.
I mean, I would have been fine with it.
That would have been a good time, I guess. That was one of the best 6 out of 10s I've seen in a theater in a while.
Oh, yeah. I'm that's a movie you should never watch, Tron Ares, unless you can watch it in a theater with your best bud, especially if it's halfway across the world from where you live.
In a theater that serves alcohol.
Well, that's all theaters now, thank God.
Is it?
Not all
pretty
here.
Much.
I only know of 2 theaters in my general vicinity that do it, and it's kind of a selling point for both of them that they do this.
Yeah, Canada's, I guess there's not as much pressure to do that because you can just take a vape pen and have a fun time anyway if you really want to at any movie theater.
Or you can be like me and sneak an entire bottle of red wine into Godzilla, King of All Monsters.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's what I call a perfect evening. But yeah, Tron Ares, great movie, not making the list.
I would not call it a great movie. I would call it a movie that I felt very comfortable walking out of 10 minutes before it ended to make my train because I knew exactly beat for beat how it was going to end. Minus the him ending up in Mexico thing, which, I didn't anticipate, but also that is the ending of a quest line in Cyberpunk 2077 with a car.
I hope that there are people listening to this that are just as lost as I am, as someone who does not give any shits whatsoever about Tron Ares.
I don't either.
Listen, Geoff has a lot of nostalgic love and memory for Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
As do I.
Yeah, Tron Legacy, one of my greatest movie-going experiences of all time, went to that 7 times while it was still in theaters. Yeah. It's one of the greatest music videos ever made.
Derezed is still a banger.
Put that and Interstellar on back to back. Just you're gonna have a real good night. And as a 9 Inch Nails music video goes, Tron Legacy kicks ass. As somebody who's specifically from Vancouver, it was really cool seeing all the Tron things come into the Vancouver skyline and blow shit up. I have zero regrets about seeing the movie. I will probably never see it again, and I'm not going to be sad about that.
I'm going to go out of my way to never see it again. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But the light cycles were so cool, and the music was so loud.
And when they did the Akira on the light cycles.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you at least mentioned Akira, because this is an anime podcast where we talk about anime like Tron.
Tron Ares really wants to be anime, to be clear.
It really does. They did some pretty cool anime type stuff with the action scenes. They've got these light cycle batons they fight with now that leave ribbons in the air that people can bounce into, and if you go in too fast to the side, it'll slice you in half like a light cycle trail
from Tron.
It's a new thing. They really play with the light ribbons in this one as
even more so than the last 2 movies.
Yeah, they elevate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's action wise, I the concepts are on point. There's a lot of really cool stuff in it. Story wise,
it's a Tron movie.
It's boilerplate. I actually think it's the worst story of any Tron movie. which is really saying something.
That's a low bar.
No, it is, but like
that's a very low bar.
Like the whole central conflict is good billionaire versus bad billionaire. There's a billionaire who wants to use the Tron lasers to 3D print immortal soldiers and weapons. And there's another good billionaire who wants to use the Tron lasers to 3D print oranges to
feed the world.
I mean, it's only oranges. I don't know if you can feed the world with oranges, but like certainly put a slight dent in world hunger. Ignore
Prevent
the fact
scurvy.
that we could already solve it right now. If we, but
today's episode is about Milky Home. I did it again.
Milky
Subway.
Again. Yeah.
We may one day do an episode on Milky Homes, but it is not this day.
I'm counting the days.
But anyway, the bad billionaire,
Don't
his
do Tron.
plan.
Okay.
Milky Subway was Tristan's pick this week.
Yes, it was.
We're very excited to talk about it. We're gonna complicate it a little bit. Yeah.
I added a second pick, just mostly to be a hater.
Yeah, which we'll get to.
But first, it's time for our question of the week. This is via Nate via email. He asks, anime setting you could spend a week or more vacationing in. What would it be and why?
I can't remember what the question was, but I seem to recall when we were doing the Japan arc, there was like anime you'd want to live in.
It's the one you'd want to get isekai'd to.
Yeah, which is slightly different because isekai's kind of a permanent thing. This is more specifically a week as a vacation.
Oh yeah, a 1 week vacation, which I think opens the door to much cooler settings. You know, like if you're a bit of a thrill seeker, want to be a war tourist for a bit or something,
or you can just pick any random high school anime ever and just be like, yeah, I'm taking a week off in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, going to Uji to do Sound Euphonium like real life first anime would be pretty cool. No, but the answer is obviously whatever floor of Eincard that Kirito and Asuna have their little cabin on, and I'd just spend it with Asuna.
Okay, well, if you're adding things like that.
I mean, I'm not saying that Kirito wouldn't sell his wife like that. But
he wouldn't
as a vacation package sweetener. No, he wouldn't. He's too much of a wife guy.
Wife's guy.
No, just the one wife. No,
he's a good wife guy. He's a wife guy.
That's like the one,
redeeming quality of.
No, I wouldn't call it a redeeming quality.
Jesus.
I think it would be. I think Sao would be much better if it were a harem anime through and through. But that's neither here nor there.
Instead, he just has Asuna and
that's just
Klein.
like your opinion, man.
I mean, he should at least. He should bring Klein in there. That's. The bro has been with him so long. He deserves it. I'm just realizing that my angle is covering up my sick Chikawa snow globe here, and I don't want to cover that up because it's probably too small for people to see it. But you got to trust me, that's a sick snow globe.
I'm sure that there are people that look through the details of all of our various backgrounds and could tell me everything that is on my shelf and desk at any given time.
Yeah,
that is not a challenge.
Sincere answers, though. Where would you want to go, guys?
On a vacation? Yeah, like vacation really changes it up.
Yeah, because it's usually relaxing. But there are so many like anime that don't really have that quality besides like the slice of life genre. It's Japan. It's just Japan. And I have nothing against that.
I think I'd say for a vacation specifically, the outer systems of Cowboy Bebop would totally rule. There's a lot of cool stuff to see. The economic situation's completely so you can just like the exchange rate will be amazing.
Especially since like if you're vacationing there and it's a temporary thing, you can just bring relics from home and sell them at a ridiculous price markup.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. Spend a couple days on Mars, then take a gate out to the Jupiter Saturn area for like some space station gambling and stuff. I think that could work. I think that could be a fun vacation.
I mean, I'm trying to think of, like, off the top of my head, like a better space-centric anime that I would want to do that with. Because everything else, my mind just keeps being like Gundam, and I'm like, I don't think there's a Gundam I want to step a foot into.
Well, I mean, being on
civilian,
being on Texas Colony prior to the whole war thing would be pretty cool.
I mean, if you could guarantee that it's before the war, sure.
No, like anytime that there isn't a war going on, a side would be a pretty cool place to be.
I suppose so.
But that's my secret, Captain. It's always a war on the space noids. To be honest, the world of 00, I would like to see a free independent Kurdistan.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice for the Kurdish
people.
Either that,
or I will just exist in the world of Wing under the peaceful reign of Relina Peacecraft, which has no problems to it whatsoever.
The Dirty Pair universe, anywhere where the Dirty Pair aren't blowing up right now.
As long as the protagonists are not there.
It's a great place to be. Great place to take a vacation.
I mean, isn't the cop-out answer just Pokemon?
No, Pokemon's the place you want to live.
Yeah.
I could vibe with just a week with like running through a field with Pikachus.
I mean, you could have a Pikachu's vacation if you want.
The benefits of the Pokemon universe really like get off the ground the longer you're there, right? Because like you get the free healthcare, the general good vibes, the basically semi-sentient slaves. There's a lot of lifestyle benefits to the Pokemon universe that you don't experience if you're just there for a week.
Jeff Leary Thew, why do you want to go to the Pokemon universe? Oh, because it has slavery that's legal.
Not just, pets.
Pseudo-slavery.
In theory, do a bunch of work for you for free.
Okay, so yeah, to be honest, if you had a Mr. Mime, would you not consider him your slave?
That's what I mean. I actually
Ash's mom does.
That's a different kind of relationship. Yeah.
Oh yes,
but that's God. If you could take a Pokemon back as a souvenir, that would be.
They're living things. You can't. They're not souvenirs.
Yeah, but you could smuggle a Pokemon, a Pokeball. Like up your asshole or something. When you go to the
aquarium, are you like, can I take one of the fish as a souvenir? Can I just take Nemo out? Bag them up for me, boss.
No, the Pokeball makes it a lot, it's... what would you guys do? Is there a...
I keep looking at my shelf trying to figure out something that actually works in a vacation setting.
You know where I actually, I want to change my answer. I would love to spend a week at Hotel Gingaro.
I'm surprised it took that long to get here.
You'd love all of humanity to be dead.
Not all of humans, just most of them.
I mean, if it's a temporary vacation thing, who says we're not just breaking the time-space continuum, and that's in the future when we're where we would be long dead anyway.
But I mean, there's also the benefits of like, once the atmosphere is fixed, we're not acclimated to space, so we could enjoy Earth. I just think it would be a pretty nice vacation. And they really take care of you. Hospitality at that resort is off the charts.
Can I say the Keijo universe?
Yeah. For a tournament week? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, man.
By that logic, I would flip a coin and either go to Angelic Lair or Uma Musume. Same thing.
So that's the problem. Like, what do I do in my free time? If I could go anywhere right now, where would it be? I'd go like mess around in the where Laid Back Camp takes place. I'd just be in
But that's a real vacation you can do. That's a real vacation and that you have done. Yeah, exactly.
And he'd do it again.
Heidi Girl Alps. I'd just like to go back to the Swiss Alps. That'd be great. Only did it once. It was really nice. I feel so uncreative. Like, I don't want to go to Byston Wells. I'll die.
I mean, most fantasy universes have problems.
Like, literally right now, Tristan could go to Anne of Green Gables.
I mean, my sister lives there. She just bought a house in PEI. It's big news. I mean, they've already been living there for about a year, but they had an apartment. Now they have a house.
Oh, congratulations to them.
It's more solid roots. But yeah, no, they live out in PEI. I have an excuse to go there.
Yeah, the market actually there is not bad.
It's not bad. No, it's actually quite nice.
You just have to put up with hell winters and, you know, the biggest city being a small town in any other province.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, I don't have an issue with that personally.
Yeah.
I think I would have had more of an issue of it back when I traveled a lot more, because yeah, being away from an international airport would be a pain. But like, if it's only like once a year that I need to deal with that pain, okay, whatever, I'll live. Versus like back in the day when I used to like fly out half a dozen times a year.
Mm.
I'd love to go up there sometime.
You should.
You should.
You should come back to Canada, Miles.
I should.
It's a magical place.
Yeah, I talked to a bunch of Canadians in Tokyo last week, and they're all like, yeah, come to our con. Come to our con. And I'm like, why are all cons within a week of each other? So like, cool, I'd love to go to your convention right after Anime Expo. That sounds like a fun time. But
just
honestly,
go instead of Anime Expo.
Yeah, it's not like I have any professional obligations whatsoever.
Out of curiosity, what cons did you talk to?
The one that's in Edmonton.
Okay.
And Otaku-thon were the ones I was talking to the most.
Yeah. The Otaku-thon guys are cool. I haven't talked much to the Edmonton con people, but they also...
Yeah.
They have a lot of overlap, actually.
Yeah.
I can believe it.
In their leadership. So.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think they both have Thon at the end, too. Isn't it Anime Thon in... That
sounds right, yeah.
In Edmonton. I should know the name of my own technically hometown con.
That you've never been to?
I went once. It was a cool time. The venue's actually really nice.
That's good.
It's like right at the city center. There's a nice river there. Also, that is technically an anime setting. You would be going on vacation to the finale area of Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, which is, I think, like the capital of Earth in that universe.
If I was to go to a con in an anime, I would just go to the Genshiken universe and hang out with the cast and just go to Big Sight, have a good time.
You can just do that in real life.
A good time. It's literally never a good time to go to Big Sight.
Big Sight.
Well, this is why I said Genshiken universe, which is technically Big Sight of like 20 years ago now.
Still terrible.
But they look miserable in Genshiken too, yeah.
Yeah, no, like you don't, like, any Big Sight con is Line Con. And when we say Line Con, we are talking like the hottest, sweatiest line you have ever been in your entire life.
Except when they did it in Genshiken, it was raining, which doesn't necessarily make it better.
Or we can go vacation in the Drops of God universe so we can compete in competitive wine tasting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good manga.
Good
Let's
manga.
do that.
Okay, so I think we've sufficiently answered that question, which means...
Thanks, Nate.
SideQuest.
Which in this case is a basically bonus main quest. Hell yeah, dude. We're talking about Chainsaw Man, the movie Reze Arc, which we all have gotten to see. Does that even fit around your headphones?
No.
Under the headphones, and then it'll stay on. And you won't even have to click it around.
For audio listeners, Tristan is putting on a little
a limited edition headband that I got at the theater for Chainsaw Man. I look so stupid.
You look great. you look super cool.
Everybody wants to look like this. This is what peak otaku fandom looks like. Read it and weep.
I wish I knew where... I've got one of those for Sunraku from Shangri-La Frontier. I got it at TGS, which is at Big Sight. And one way that I can confirm, you don't want to go there.
No. So we've all gone and seen Chainsaw Man because we are all reasonably respectable anime-related folks who totally want to go see it no matter what. And so we did.
Yeah.
And it was a time. Yeah, I'm taking this off.
Coward.
We all like Chainsaw Man, right?
Yeah,
We do.
Yeah.
No, like the TV show and the manga beforehand.
We
Yeah.
are indeed Chainsaw Man enjoyers, and it is very funny being in a theater full of half people that are anime onlys as a manga reader. And I'm like, you don't know. You don't know anything. But it was still good times. Also because like I barely remembered like the details of it because I'd only read through the manga the one time. It has been a long time since I read this arc. So it's like I remembered like the big points, but the finer details I didn't remember all that much. Which was great because then it was like I sort of knew what was going to happen, but then I could also re-experience other parts of it as I was watching the movie. A lot of things from my memory and like from like my impressions of the manga that were just missing. So for example, in reading the manga, because I was blitzing through most of it, I think like this arc specifically, I just went through because we were already finished most of the government arc by the time I actually was catching up with Chainsaw Man. So I blitzed through this really quickly. And I did not have a very good impression of Beam from the manga. And
AKA the best character.
now having seen this film, I want it on a wall. I want it painted on canvas and I want it on a wall. And anyone who's seen the film knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say I want that frame on a wall.
There's a lot of Beam frames that I want a whole wall of
that
beams.
One.
Yeah.
The one very specific one that looks like a Renaissance painting already. I want it on canvas on a wall.
Yeah, that one's
Go watch the movie.
I mean, there's a lot of glorious visuals in this thing.
There are, which is funny because I also remember going into it, all of the talk about how people watched the trailer and thought that the visuals were a downgrade compared to season 1 of the show.
Well, that's just because people are stupid and have no taste in animation or art styles.
Yeah, there's that, but it's also like, as I was watching it, I was remembering those thoughts and I was just like, maybe if I saw a side-by-side, like right now, I would be able to be like, okay, yeah, maybe. But if you're just watching the film, you don't get that at all. It just looks peak.
I mean, it's closer to the manga style, which is... I think strictly an improvement.
So, I mean, the heavy CG and everything is whenever you pay attention to it, it really can be distracting. Like, I know that they do a lot of retouches on the face so that you can barely tell on faces, but like for other parts or like darker scenes in particular, the just like CG skeleton of the movie is to me a little distracting.
Well,
but
yeah, but like I hated the CG from the actual original season of the show, and I thought that the CG here was an upgrade compared to that. So I was quite pleased with that.
I like the CG in the original show.
Yeah, I think it's really like really good. Top 5% of CG in anime.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is, it distracted me whenever I noticed it.
No, I kind of agree. Like,
which wasn't often.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because like Chainsaw Man's designs are just so complicated. You need a solution like that to be able to get the characters to move. And like, you know, it helps that they all have basically the same body type with the suit. You know, there's a lot of copy paste ability there.
Good looking suits.
Yeah, I really think it's a very smart way of approaching making making this story. Although, like, I don't know, to me, like, I'm also a manga reader, and like the Reze Arc specifically, because I have been reading Chainsaw Man weekly, except for the periods I take off so I can binge a bit,
which is just all the time.
Since literally chapter 1, I was a fan of Fire Punch before I started on Chainsaw Man. I need you guys to understand I liked Tatsuki Fujimoto before it was cool.
No, I get that. And I am more of the binging person. I haven't been caught up on Chainsaw Man for about a year now. So I'm about the point where I should probably pull it up again.
It's so peak right now.
No, and I get that. Like, you want to know how many times I've opened up social media and that repost of Chainsaw Man is really good this week. I see that almost anytime I open social media.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you got to get on it so that we can get like much better America insults for Miles, because like the current run is just, you know, the main villain is literally Lockheed Martin. Literally Lockheed Martin.
Yep. I believe it.
But yeah, no, like the Reze arc is just embedded in my mind because I read it week to week, and like I was there for those twists of the knife when they were still fresh. Every single one, right? Like I was there when we didn't know who this Reze girl was, and it was, you know, she was just kind of sussy, but also like, oh, there's something good's finally happening to Denji, and you know, at the back of your mind, you're like, that can't be good.
Nothing good ever happens to Denji.
And so let's say if you haven't watched the movie yet, you're not caught up with Chainsaw Man,
skip this.
No, we're not. Well, I think we're not going to spoil it. You know, like
okay.
But like, you know, like when the other shoe drops with Reze, I mean, also the trailers spoil it.
No, that's why, like,
so does the poster.
Yeah.
The fact that you can call her sus is fine. Like, that's not like, that's called basic literacy, right? Like,
yeah.
It's okay. But so like, I went into this, by the way, blind.
Yeah. Okay, so like you're anime only.
Not completely. So basically I was reading it week to week when it first came out, and basically got to the end of where season 1 ended. And then I can't read manga week to week. I'm just not physically capable of it. Like even One Piece, I read in chunks, which I'd rather read it week to week. And I used to like listen to the podcast, One Piece podcast every week, and like be on that, like on the Arlong Park forums, discussing the latest, every little thing. But I don't have the time in my life for that now. So I have to carve out One Piece time, right? And it's that way for most manga. Weekly does not work for me. And so that was true when Chainsaw Man, like in 2018 or whatever, when this was. And so this was the first new material of Chainsaw Man that I went into as an anime only, and it was wonderful for me.
I'm glad to hear that. Like to me, there was a bit of a letdown because the manga handles it like everything that the manga handles transcendentally, like some of the best use of the medium I've ever seen in my life. So like, going from that to a very good movie it feels like a downgrade, even though I'd still give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
Chainsaw Man fans, be cool about the anime adaptation ever challenge. Yeah, no. The thing is, I get it, because I did, read that beginning part of Chainsaw Man, and like, yeah, nothing. When people complain about the anime adaptation, I'm like, okay.
Like on the one
I've been
hand,
a One Piece fan for 15 years. I understand. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's not even like a One Piece fan thing. Like, I feel like the anime and the movie are about as good as anybody could ever reasonably expect them to be. It's just in my brain, I'm comparing it to one of the greatest auteurs to ever do it in the medium, breaking rules of paneling and just doing incredible things basically every week versus a very, very good anime, right? And like, you would need an anime directing genius on the same level as Fujimoto, who's willing to like break and rework what the manga did well in order to like make something that works specifically in anime for it to hit as hard as the manga does for me. But like, I don't think that should take away from, people who are anime only. I think like it was probably a pretty transcendental experience for you, right, Miles?
Yeah, so that's my point. Every person who's current with the manga that I've talked to about this movie is like, did you even feel like they built up the romance? I'm like, yes. I felt like, honestly, most romance movies don't do as much as, like, don't have as many scenes, have as many moments that are memorable as Reze Arc had. Like, it felt great to watch their relationship progress in that, like, yes, fundamentally short amount of time. But every manga reader is like, I just feel like they didn't get that same level of development as they did in the manga. I'm like, how? How do they even do more in the manga? But like, it's not the like time, it's about the execution. Really.
And also it's the execution, but also like I think a little bit of if you were reading it week to week, living with the characters, you can like linger on the pages and like really enjoy those moments in a way that they have to be fleeting in. It's really just the existence of linear time nerfs how brilliant Chainsaw Man can really be. and like that, that sounds like a pretentious thing to say, but like
it doesn't just sound like it
But I mean, like literally, you've read the first chapter of Chainsaw Man. You know that panel where he punches through the zombie devil's face, and also it's like a split panel of him sawing down that face. Like that's just like one of the most genius compositions I've ever seen, and it's just like casually in the middle of a big dumb action scene.
Well, it is chapter 1 too, so a lot of extra work and polish goes into it.
But like.
Every chapter of Chainsaw Man that I read, I felt like, oh my god, this guy's the most big-brained manga author I've ever read.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And when I watched the movie, I felt a lot of that too. Enough of that I was not wanting for anything. I did not know what I was missing. And so for me, like, is this the greatest movie of all time? No. Am I really glad it's a movie and not a 6-episode TV show? Yes, because unlike God, watching it so close to Demon Slayer, I could not see the seams. Tristan and I were talking about this, like, when we were watching Demon Slayer, we're like, commercial break, episode break, commercial break, episode break. Like, the whole time, it's just like, I feel that, that's where
this is where the end music is going to start playing.
You can see exactly where they chopped up the TV show to make the movie. I haven't.
Well, it is. We see exactly where they are going to chop the movie to turn it into a season of anime, because they did that with Mugen Train. They took Mugen Train, it was a film, and then they cut it up, and then it became season 2? I think it was 2.
Yeah.
2. Yeah.
I mean, so I haven't seen the new Demon Slayer movie, and like, I'd give Mugen Train a high 6 out of 10. I think it doesn't even feel like a self-contained story.
It's not.
It's not.
Well, no, because...
Oh, Mugen Train, yeah.
Well, Mugen Train, yeah. But Infinity Castle is set up, and it's already going to have like another, 3 movies? It's supposed to be 4 movies? Or it's only going to be a trilogy? Okay, I thought it was going to be 4. Either way, it's like, it's not... I don't know. I can't recommend it until all 3 are out, really. I don't think I have an intention of going to see movie 2.
I also think it's just kind of lame to turn the final battle of an episodic anime into movies.
3 movies?
Like that, I mean, it's not, it's cool from the perspective of, okay, we can throw a movie budget at this and get a little bit more Sakuga in there. Again, I haven't seen it, so maybe it's a lot better than I think it is. I know a lot of people walked out of that theater and they were like, no? Okay. All right.
I mean, I had don't get me wrong. I had a great time watching it.
But like a Tron Ares level great time.
Ooh, don't make me... I don't want to, just because I'm not a fan of Demon Slayer doesn't mean I want to come across as a hater. Like, I think it's pretty cool.
We weren't hating on Tron Ares, were we?
If I were 12, it would have been the coolest thing in the world. So the thing is, the Demon Slayer movie, Aniplex, so much more money this way.
It does.
Yeah.
So like... Think about
why
the little
won't
guy.
somebody think about Aniplex?
I mean,
please, they deserve your money.
Like, the thing is, like, as I know, like, Mappa are the bad guys of a lot of people's like narratives about anime, but like from what I've heard, the Reze Arc movie, the production on it was actually like relatively for Mappa relaxed, and like they actually had time to make it well, and you can feel that, I think, in a lot of the cuts. There's not a lot of compromises. And, like you can feel the animators having fun with what they're doing. And also, this is the one that Mappa's actually on the production committee for. So in the same way that the success of Demon Slayer was like a big windfall for Ufotable and like essentially like paved the way for them to have better working conditions, I think that this movie is going to be like a real win for the future of people working at Mappa.
So I have seen a lot of people who work in this field talk about, and I've heard personally, movies are much more manageable than TV shows in terms of the timetables and in terms of the crunch. You still get those things, but there's just a little bit more flexibility, and it's a little bit more predictable. And there's a reason there's a big gap between every one of the Demon Slayer movies. But like, to be honest, it's kind of almost like an admission of like, hey, y'all are pirating anime anyway. We need to get money from you somehow. And then like the CEO of Crunchyroll's like, and we're not going to show this movie on TV for the whole year. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I kind of want to see Demon Slayer on Crunchyroll. Isn't that what I have my Crunchyroll subscription for? The whole year? Yeah. I have to wait the whole year to watch the new Demon Slayer? Well, I already did, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like,
beside the point.
Yeah, that does suck. And I mean, it especially sucks because Crunchyroll is so bad at DVD releases now. Because like you could have a Blu-ray home release, right? Like in 3 months after the theatrical. And
they hold it back specifically to prevent that now, yeah.
And
we're seeing longer holdbacks. That's I actually don't have a big issue with it. Like Haikyuu getting its series continued as a movie, Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, like I think it's nice for like, because in all of these cases, a lot of the parties involved are able to finally get their bag this way, but also it's way cooler to watch something in a theater with other people.
Oh, 100%.
I always wanted, like, I miss anime club days so badly, and it's nice to get a sense of that. Now, I understand Tristan is going to have his exception to this that is not that rare of an exception, but in my theater for Reze Arc,
you didn't watch my movie. Not my movie. You told me you didn't watch my video on it.
Well, yeah, but you did rant about it before we did at one point.
You had a bad theater experience with this one?
Yeah. Well, not a terrible, not the worst that I've ever had, but this is one of those. This is the first time that I went to a reasonably full theater of a movie with subtitles. So when people decide that, hey, I'm going to show up 15 minutes late, and then I'm going to squeeze through, and I'm pretty tall, and they just kind of
cover the subtitles,
and you can't read, you can't see, you can't read. I also generally position myself up at the back, on the top row, as close to the middle as I can, but on the top row, which is great because no one's going to kick my chair, and I normally still have a good view. Sucks for the fact that if absolutely anyone in the audience pulls out their phone, I am going to see it.
Yeah. And that happens a lot in American theaters and Canadian theaters, unfortunately. Not Japanese theaters, though.
Really?
No, yeah.
You don't have people in Japanese theaters pulling out their phones or answering or responding to things?
No, like Japanese theater goers are so considerate. They they'll even wait for like a loud moment of the movie to dig into their popcorn and get and eat it.
Oh, that's the worst. When the people like only seem to like want to actually talk or do what have you when it's quiet, and I'm like, guys, come on now.
Yeah, I like, I love going to movies, and I think there is a certain like enjoyable energy to seeing a movie with a lot of other anime fans in a
there
theater.
Are. Like, I'm not going to say that there weren't moments within watching this film that weren't absolutely hype. It's just like, for me, it's a balance of, are those hype moments worth being absolutely pulled out of it in other moments?
Yeah.
Due to things beyond my control.
Is it worth going through like people with their phones and people being rude for like that one moment of everyone barking at Makima? Which
thankfully no one in my theater did that.
Yeah, it was just me at mine.
So like the thing is, in Japan they have something called roaring screenings, which are specifically for people who want to go to a movie and make a bunch of noise and have fun like that, right? And outside of those specific screenings, which they do for basically every big anime movie, so like you could have done one of those for Uma Musume if you were here, Tristan.
Yeah. That would have been fun.
That would have been actually a blast. Now that now that I've seen that movie, I'm like, I kind of wish I'd gone. But
I mean, I'm still really hoping that someone puts Beginning of a New Era in theaters here in Canada. They still technically can. I just don't expect them to do it at this point.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be so good. I got to try to make time to go to the Pat Labor screenings that are happening this week. It'll be tricky because I got a lot of work to do.
There are Pat Labor screenings?
Pat Labor
Yes,
1 and
I
2
missed
double
it.
feature.
In 35 millimeter.
How
On
dare
film.
you come back to North America, Miles?
No, so I literally lost my mind when I was in Tokyo and realized I had missed it all.
You should have abandoned your family, just spent an extra week here, you know?
I mean, is that roughly to how I felt while I was sitting at the airport waiting for my flight home, only to find out that the Ascendance of a Bookworm pop-up shop was in Shibuya?
Right then.
And I could have went there where we were that night that we were waiting like 2 hours for you to show up. I could have walked over and been in the pop-up shop, spent all of my money on Bookworm merch, and had a grand time.
Worse.
Man,
because there was an Oshii, Mamoru Oshii was doing a Q&A session at an Angel's Egg 4K remaster.
Screening.
Well, we knew about the
tickets.
4K remaster, though. We knew about that.
No, but the Q&A, the thing was, it was sold out. And what Miles didn't realize is that his friend, who was part of the organizational team for the film festival, could have just gotten both of us tickets.
I'm having dinner with the guy and I'm like, yeah. He's like, did you want to see any movies? I'm like, there's one that's happening right now. And he's like, you should have told me literally an hour ago and I would have gotten you in.
I feel so sorry for you, Miles.
I was sick and I would have run out of the house to do that with you.
Oh, I am so sorry. Because Angel's Egg is like your number one anime film, isn't it?
Depending on the day of the week. Yeah. Yeah.
Depending on the day of the week. But it's up there.
No, it rotates. It's like, it's one of the three that, you know, depending how I feel, it's my favorite anime ever.
I'm so sorry.
And your favorite director of all time was just there talking
Doing
about
a Q&A.
working on it in a Q&A that you could have...
It would have had live translations for.
So that you could have asked a question.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I went to a couple other of the like anime like presentations, and the translators were excellent. I felt bad because I was like one of 4 gaijin in one of them, and like there were 2 translators there, like just for me. It felt like because other guys looked like they could speak Japanese.
Yeah. After that, Miles was really thinking about a spontaneous trip to Aokigahara. I'm sorry, that was probably too much.
Reze Arc was this really delightful experience. Like I had to keep defending myself to all the manga readers in my life who loved this movie or who thought this movie was mid. But I had such a good time.
It is such a good
I miss
film.
How
Chainsaw
could
Man
anybody...
so
okay,
much.
I'm going to say, how could anybody call it mid? Like, I can understand...
Both me and Geoff are manga readers, and we're like, what the hell, man?
Like I'm the biggest Fujimoto glazer you will ever meet, right? And like, I can understand somebody who's like, I didn't like the anime that much, like the TV anime. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Personally, TV anime is like an 8 out of 10 for me. This is an 8.5, right? But I can understand that perspective on the TV anime, but like, the movie's just really good.
I will say, it's really f***ed up to have like 90 minutes of Chainsaw Man content and no power.
I mean, you
stayed after the credits, though, right? You stayed after the credits, though?
I stay after credits for every movie.
Okay.
Even like, I love going to like a drama or something, and they're like, there's no end of after credits scene. I'm like, yes, I'm paying respect to all the people who worked hard on this movie, and look at their names in the credits.
Someone made this credits.
Shit.
Somebody made this music.
Which is one other point that I will give to Japanese theater goers. They just do that. That is the default, to sit through the credits respectfully before you leave.
They did not for Tron. They all left.
Hell yeah. I mean, I kind of broke that dam by leaving early too. But
like I was like, I normally stay, but like I'm like, I'm gonna miss my train too, right?
Yeah.
And I had to sprint, by the way, to get my train.
On the way back,
it was a sweaty night.
On the way back to my train, I got hello handsomed by random, the Japanese women who try to drag you into a bar so they can drug you and steal your money. 3 different times just trying to cross the street to the train station in like the space of a minute. It was Kabuki-cho. Never go there.
After midnight?
Never go to Kabuki-cho.
After midnight as a single white dude? Yeah.
Never. No.
We were targets.
Yeah.
We were
like
easy
the prime
targets.
marks for...
We also both stand out in that country being like larger than 6 feet, like giant like beams of light.
Yeah, but like literally like...
The beacons are lit. Gondor calls for aid.
They like turned their heads and like moved in on me like some kind of horror movie situation. It was ridiculous. But yeah, no, like generally people in Japanese theaters will stay for the entire credits if it's a good movie.
If it's not a Jared Leto movie.
If it's not Jared Leto.
I mean, honestly, most of the things that you're saying to me right now, it's one of those, even if I was in Japan, I don't think I would have went with you guys.
Well, is that also because Pat Labor 2 was screening at the same time?
I would have gone to Pat Labor.
Millimeter? Yeah, it was sold out on that day. So.
Wow. And your friend couldn't get you a ticket?
No, that was a different... That was just a local theater in Ikebukuro.
Different thing. Unfortunate. Yeah. I would have gone to Pat Labor, though. But no, like a combination of movie I didn't want to go to, place that's super sketch to be late at night, almost missing a train. Yeah, no, all of that would have just added up to, you know what, I'm just going to stay in my hotel.
No, it was sick. Yeah. So was Reze Arc.
Yeah.
Both good movies.
No, that's going to get us canceled, Miles. I mean, like, the problem with talking about Chainsaw Man is, like, the manga fans are low-key a little psychotic sometimes, but then the anime fans are also psychotic, too. You know, like, there's a lot of people who are like, you give this movie less than a 10 out of 10, you don't like this movie, you are the devil. You know, the people, like...
Or you are a devil. It's almost like the people who enjoy Chainsaw Man, based on its content, have a type.
Yeah. No, but like the whole agenda where like they were going after anybody who lowered the Rotten Tomatoes score is just like...
So I was unfortunately part of that because I had like a tweet pop off about the New York Times guy, but like he didn't get it.
No, I mean the New York Times one was wasn't that the one that like Rotten Tomatoes published it wrong and it was actually a mostly positive review?
It was not a mostly positive review. I read it. I think that was a negative review. I think that Rotten Tomatoes got it right and they just got bullied into making it a positive review.
Really? Okay, I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't New York Times shit paywalled?
Yeah, that's why I got gifted an article because I wanted to judge it for myself.
Yeah, that's why I didn't.
I used to have an NYT subscription. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah.
But yeah, no, I just like that whole thing was just a little, you know, like I understand people not getting the movie, but like even if, you know, it's the greatest movie of all time and you love it to death, Armand White is going to come along and ruin that eventually. You just have to accept that you're not going to get a perfect Rotten Tomatoes score on things you love.
Anime's greatest friend / enemy, Peter Bradshaw from The Guardian, is like a coin flip of whether you can never predict whether he'll like an anime movie or not, right? Like, it's great. I love him. And so, like, here's the thing also. One thing, the one piece of really critical feedback I want to give about this Reze Arc thing. The season 1 of the TV show tried so hard to be cinematic.
Yes.
And Reze Arc managed to feel much more cinematic simply by just
being a movie,
embracing tradition, Chainsaw Man tradition. No, by like being like more vibesy with the manga.
And I mean, that opening shot that is like literally lifted straight out of the manga is really cool. The like dream sequence. And I mean, the final moment of the battle with Typhoon where they like recreate the splash page exactly. There's a lot of like really good fan service that like replicates the manga 1-to-1. And that's, you know, that was part of also what was bugging me as a manga fan, right? That I wish there was a little more that just like elevated it from an animation perspective. Like there's the bit where they're fighting in the film reels. That's pretty cool, right? But like you know, I just wish there was some extra little bit of like genius. You can only do this in animation sauce, but that's my only complaint about it. And it's not really a complaint. It's just would have been nice to have.
That's why, like, a part of me is a little curious as to what this film would have been like if you still had the same director and team that did season 1 behind it and tried to make the movie, quote unquote, more chainsaw cinematic style as a film. I am legitimately curious what that would be like. I don't know if it would be any good, but
I think it would have taken away from it personally.
Maybe.
I think it still would have been good.
Yeah, no, I think it's like, I think it still would have been good, but I really like the approach they took with this. And I think, you know, Miles is right that like by moving away from the conventional cinematic approach of the first season, they made something that feels more cinematic, ironically.
I don't know if I would say it feels more cinematic. It just feels more shonen. Is kind of the feeling that I got. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it is shonen, but it just felt more like that. Like, it felt like what I expected Demon Slayer to be if it wasn't obviously about to get cut up into a season.
Excuse me, Tristan. I think you'll find that Chainsaw Man is a soft seinen. Someone's going to take that seriously. This is a joke.
We're going to clip that as a short. That's the short. And it's going to end right there. Boom. TikTok, here we come.
Oh, God. You can't make jokes in the anime community anymore. You just can't.
Or someone will take some stupid, innocuous thing equally seriously. And you're just like, I didn't think I needed to explain that, but okay. And that brings us to our main quest today, which is a little weird for me because technically, by all accounts, this will be 2 main quests for me in a row. But that's fine because today we're talking about Milky Subway. And if you don't know what Milky Subway is, there's going to be a link in the description. And I know this because I'm going to put it there. You should probably stop watching this immediately. You should click on that link. It'll bring you to a YouTube playlist. And about 45 minutes later, you can come back here and you can agree with me of how great of a time that was. And you can now say thank you to me and us in general as a whole podcast for allowing you to experience that. You're welcome.
Does this playlist include Milky Highway?
Yes, it does.
That's important. All right. Good.
It's the same playlist I gave to Miles as a here's what we're talking about this episode. Go watch everything here. Because yes, technically, Milky Highway is included with it. I kind of include that all as an all-encompassing Gunzankun's work of the franchise as it is right now, you know, until the movie comes out and whatever else that they make.
Are they making a movie?
After this. Well, the movie is... What we've been told about the movie is that it is basically a compilation film, and I think that I'm very interested in that for no other reason than so much of my enjoyment of this series. Okay, so Milky Subway is just a bunch of 3 to 4 minute episodes. Just a whole bunch of them, that again, which will only take you about 45 minutes to get through. And the reason why the compilation film is a little fascinating to me is because not an insignificant amount of my enjoyment is how good the smash cuts are in this
the title cards.
With both the intro title cards and then also the see you next time cards at the end.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious as to how that's going to translate to a compilation film or what they will replace them with. I feel like some of the better ones they'll keep in some way, shape, or form, but
I wonder, like, I almost wonder if they'll like add a little bit more connective tissue because like
they'd almost have to. Especially like if you...
A lot of the framing of the show is like, you know, end an episode with a smash cut and then jump to a flashback from a different character's perspective to like set up each of the arcs within the season. So it would be very strange to cut it for a theater the way that it was
They're doing it.
done. Like, I think you have to substantially rework the story to make that work. So I will be very interested to see that in theaters.
Well, yeah, and I'm hopeful then, because like we know that it will be a film, but we don't know how long of a film. It very well could just be a 45-minute film That's happened before. Like Garden of Words is only like 45
50
minutes.
minutes.
50 minutes. So that's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm hoping for more like an hour 20 or something like that, so they can substantially add more connective tissue and then just more goodness,
world
and
building, maybe
yeah,
a
because
second,
I love these characters so much.
maybe a second or third set to like, or like expand the story. So we should probably, like, for the people who haven't yet clicked that playlist, just sight unseen, explain the basic idea of what it's about.
Yeah.
Which is, so it's a series of 3D animated anime shorts done by one guy.
More or less one guy. He has some help, but it's done by one guy in the same vein as Undertale was done by one guy.
Yeah.
In which, if you actually look at the credits, it's more than just Toby Fox and it's more than just this one guy, but all of the major important roles in the production, one guy. One guy
did all the storyboarding, animation, writing, the whole shebang, but the music, sound design. No, I think he did the sound design too. But we'll have to double check the credits.
Well, yeah, like I don't know how much work he did in the one insert song that's at the end, and then he just licensed the main theme, which is a banger anyway. So it's
the music was licensed, and obviously they had to pay voice actors and stuff, right?
And surprisingly, because like you can go on the YouTube, they have two versions on YouTube. There's a Japanese only on YouTube, and then there's more of like a global release. And the global one has like 4 different languages that this thing has been dubbed into. And the English isn't bad either.
I watched it in English.
Yeah, okay. It's a pretty good English dub, I'd say. I like went between the two of them.
Like I had one major problem with the English dub, and that is there were a couple of scenes where 2 characters were voiced by the same person, and I couldn't like tell,
but
like not to the point that I called it while listening to it. It just felt off to me, and then when I looked at the cast list, I was like, oh, that's why it felt off, because it's the same person. They're talking to one another and they're interacting in this scene, and it's the same voice.
And it's an Oblivion moment.
No, Oblivion would have been a lot more obvious.
Yeah,
but it is that sort of thing. But like removing those specific scenes, the dub was actually reasonably good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I've watched Milky Subway a number of times, multiple different ways at this point.
I think for a small production, especially, what they've pulled off on YouTube is very impressive. But it's essentially one guy, and the story is in the prequel, which I think was his student film, Milky Highway.
Yeah, Milky Highway.
You see these 2 delinquents, a cute alien girl and her cyborg friend, just tooling down the highway, and the alien girl puts on a really banging song, and the cyborg who's driving just can't help go completely buck wild, because it's just one of those ones where you just gotta like floor it, and that causes the space highways defense robots to trigger. And they kind of cause several $1 million of collateral damage.
Because at that point, you just have to use your arm cannon on the cop robots. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like, what else are you going to do? So in the end,
you have an arm cannon. You might as well use it.
So in the end, after blowing up part of this major infrastructure and destroying a whole lot of police property, they are sentenced to a week of community service on the Milky Subway Galactic Limited Express train.
Yeah, they have a very old subway car, essentially, that they have been tasked by a police officer who just does not have any more shits to give.
Just completely checked out police officer. And they and 2 other groups of delinquents who kind of parallel them in interesting ways are sent to clean up this subway. And then the train becomes a runaway train, and they gotta stop the train.
Yeah, they got to get to the front of the train, because our protagonists start at the back of the train with a bunch of controls, but you need 3 keys in order to actually control the train, and 2 of them are there.
But
and
one of the trains
that
at
the third one is in the front car, so they have to get all the way to the front car, despite the fact that the entire place is malfunctioning on them.
Yeah, and that's the whole story. Like,
That's the nutshell of the story. Yes,
all of the storytelling is basically contained to the like police interview room where they
each group is individually interrogated
to talk about their backstories and the dumb stuff that they did that specifically got them in this situation. The like briefing room, I guess you'd call it, where they're all assigned their community service detail. And
then the various parts of the train
itself and the train platform, which you only see very briefly. So it's like in terms of, setup, it's a very efficient story for recycling a lot of assets and sets, which, is what you want for one guy making a single, a single.
Excuse me, Geoff, if I had all the money in the world, I'd make a movie that took place exclusively on one train. Yeah. That is peak storytelling.
Because trains are great.
Train in space, even better.
We've already spoken on this podcast about how trains are awesome. See the episode where we talked about Bakano and gushed over the flying pussyfoot.
The best part of Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door?
The most memorable moment in Final Fantasy when one gets suplexed? Yeah.
I literally just wrote an ad for Honkai Star Rail. That's going on my next video. That's just like, waifus on a train in space, baby. That's a special interest triple threat. Yeah, trains in space. Very cool. Yep. Very, very efficient. Also having all of the enemies be mass-produced robots. Very efficient for, cutting down on.
You say all these things. These are all feel like very strategic, like storytelling decisions.
Yeah,
kind of is.
I adore.
Yeah, no, I mean, like that's what's great about it is it like feels perfectly organic to the story that they're trying to tell, but also the story is like meticulously engineered to be possible for one guy to do in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, there's nothing like overly complicated,
which I think makes it a really good point of contrast with our second main quest topic of the week. We're experimenting. We're trying crazy stuff now because we're talking about two anime that were made by one guy, but 20 years apart almost. And they're both about space and miscommunication. And it's like they're sending messages back and forth across the distance of time, which is the theme of Voices of a Distant Star, Makoto Shinkai's sophomore filmmaking effort, his second thing that he made on his own, and the first thing that's actually like worth a damn.
I can at least agree with that. Yeah.
Made it by himself, mostly with, some help from obviously voice actors, music,
and things like that,
producers, but pretty much all by himself on his Power Mac 20 years ago, kickstarted his own career.
Probably after a very late night binge session that involves watching Gunbuster.
Oh yeah. And like maybe a little bit of Evangelion too. Specifically the like
a little bit, but
no, like specifically that shot in the classroom at sunset is the most.
Yeah. That's pretty Evangelion. So it's a combination of like Gunbuster for a lot of the narrative beats. Pick and choose your Itano Circus scenes for the space battles, and then
for the
and
themes,
then Evangelion for the classroom bits, yeah,
and then for like the core themes of the story, the exact same thing that he's been doing with all of his movies,
except for his one good one, Garden of Words.
That one's also kind of about like communication and stuff, but it's more about feet. So I understand why you.
Yeah. Representation. No, it's about older women. That's why I like it.
Yeah. Whereas this one's about like a very
contrived high school relationship.
Yeah, but a very contrived setup to have like a 25-year-old man still in a relationship with his girlfriend still in her middle school uniform. Don't think about that.
We know he did. So Tristan, on the first topic, I want to get into why you like this show so much.
Why you like Milky Subway. Yeah.
I have a hypothesis in 2 words.
Okay,
I'd like to hear yours first. No, I want to hear you say it first.
You want to hear my...
I'm gonna write it down just so you know I'm not cheating, okay?
You want to know my 2 word?
No, I just want to hear why you like it broadly, and then I'll show you in 2 words why you like it.
It's a mind-reading trick.
It's a mind-reading trick.
Tell me why you like Milky Highway so much. Subway, both.
Galactic Railroad.
Night on the Galactic Railroad?
You don't need to do 2 words.
If you wanted me to do 2 words, it's Galactic Railroad. But no, it's like a lot of it is a very Leiji Matsumoto inspired thing without really having any direct Leiji Matsumoto connections at all.
Yeah, Train in Space is so different from anything Matsumoto Sensei has done.
I mean, that's kind of the only thing where you have a train in space that runs on invisible rails that have no reason to twist and turn, but do it anyway. Because you're in space. It can just, go. It doesn't need to be a train with rails, but, we're such train otaku to make these things that, of course, it has to do this.
It's got to be a train.
It's got to be a train. Trains are awesome,
how is this 43-minute experience one of your favorite anime experiences of the year and a list contender?
Because I can think of only a handful of things, because I don't think that this is going to be like my number 1 of the year. But I think I mentioned before, it is easily in my top 5. And I think it's because for the amount of time that it is, I can't think of like much better that could have been done in this time frame, to the point where historically, I don't watch short anime. If I pull up a list of things to look at for like any incoming season that we do for like the seasonal stuff that me and Geoff do on a regular basis on our channels, anytime that something is like less than 10 minutes long, I cut immediately. I'm like, no, not even gonna give it any consideration whatsoever. So the fact that this show was even on my radar to begin with, and then the fact that I watched it near religiously and could not believe how much I enjoyed something that was 3 to 4 minutes long that wasn't some cheap 4-coma adaptation of something. It's just the combination of how everything, well, not a combination because that implies more than one thing, but it is just like how well it is able to tell its story on an episode by episode basis, to the fact that there is an overarching story that can take place over the 45 minutes, but every 3 to 4 minute chunk has its own little scene story that is just so well written. There is no bad episode of Milky Subway. I know we use that excuse for our list contenders very often. There's no bad episode in XYZ, but
that is the
that's true.
If you think about it in terms of the eventual compilation movie, it is the definition of a great movie. It's like 4, I would say, great scenes and no bad ones.
So my guess as to why you like this.
What'd you write down? Star Trek. Really?
So this feels like Star Trek for kids. This feels like...
No, because Star Trek for kids is Prodigy. This is not Prodigy.
It's literally the same as Prodigy. Holy shit, dude.
I mean, just because the aliens are red and have the little Andorian ear things,
No, that was a charm point. Yeah, no. that did sell me immediately. No, listen.
There was no Janeway on this train.
No, this is why it is a Prodigy, right? Because they're a bunch of scrappy young delinquents who are learning how to work together to be better than the sum of their parts. It is just technobabbly enough, but it feels very human in its connection to technology, and it feels very human in its plot. And it's about overcoming a lot of different boundaries and borders and distinctions in space for the betterment of all. It feels very Star Trek. It feels like just a very good episode of Star Trek in its scope.
Except I feel like there are very few episodes of Star Trek that care about its cast on such an individual level, especially considering that the entirety of Milky Subway is about the runtime of an average 90s Star Trek episode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why, when I was watching this, I was thinking about Lower Decks a lot. the show.
Yeah, I was going to say that Lower Decks is probably like not necessarily Lower Decks the show, but like Lower Decks the episode from
that's what I meant. The
from
episode,
Next Gen
show. Yeah.
is very similar to this. Yeah, and I can get that now that you've mentioned it. It wasn't something that came to my mind when I was watching it though.
No,
like,
I know,
was
but
just
it's fundamentally these are the things you like.
Fundamentally, yeah. And then I was just getting distracted by like a whole bunch of other things, like asking myself, was that a Die Hard reference? When I first saw Kurt, because Kurt's got the lettering about machine gun arms on his entire jacket, and I'm just like, that lettering is very much the now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho, like from Die Hard, and I'm just like, is he doing a Die Hard? It's little things like that.
For me, I think the real appeal of this is the chaos of it, which I have not watched a lot of Star Trek, but what I have watched is, I think, more like structured and professional. And like what I really dig
That's why I didn't peg this as Star Trek, first off.
Like what I really dig about this is it's like the type of characters you don't normally see in a space opera. Just a bunch of like, not idiots, but I mean, all of the kids are actually pretty smart, which is one thing I like about it. But like,
yeah, I mean, I think Akane is like the only not smart one, but she's not designed to be one. She is she's the motorcycle lady archetype of, no, I'm just running a biker gang. I don't need to be smart. I'll let other people be smart. I'll use my fist is my brain, and it'll be fine, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, no, it's...
I'm waiting for you guys to pull up the character sheet so everybody can remember.
Also, Akane is one of the easiest characters to remember in terms of her name. They say her name a lot.
Yeah, no, I really like Akane's whole, like her whole relationship with Kanata was a real, like there's, I mean, one thing that really impressed me is like they managed to get complete character arcs for three different groups of two, right? Like
seven
different
characters
pairings
total.
So yeah, I mean, I would say that
I count the police officer. She's totally got a wonderful arc going on there. I love it.
I mean, she starts not giving a shit and she ends not giving a shit. So I don't know.
She ends not giving a shit, but also somewhat curious. And it's just like, okay, walk me through this again.
Yeah. Like it goes from another week of this to, okay, how'd you guys like screw up this bad? But
one of my favorite shots of the whole show is when the train is first taking off and you just get the shot of her going, huh? It's like one of my favorite shots in the show because she's just like, oh no.
The chaos, I think, contributes to that because there's a lot of people talking over each other. It's a very like casual, delinquent style of Japanese. And there's people talking over each other, talking past each other. Mate. You go back and then the other one's just like off on some tangent about like,
no, this is going to be you and this is going to be me. Which one is me? This one's me. Okay, no, this one's you. Sorry.
Or like, like someone's trying to get something serious done and then two characters are like diving back into an argument that they've clearly been having for the last month. There's just a lot of like little characterful details that build up the dynamics.
Mm-hmm. And while two of them are shouting, then we have a smash cut that goes to a bathroom where two guys are just doing fixing their hair.
Yeah. I mean, those two guys are great, right?
They're so funny.
Because like they're anti-delinquents almost. They're like, they want to be like, hero
they want to
type
be good
dudes helping people out. And they just want somebody to say thank you, but nobody will. So they just like take money. And then, you get that moment where they're like, oh, okay, yeah, well, never mind. You don't need the rest of that money. We'll help you out. And it's like, can I have my money back? No refunds.
No.
There's so many laugh moments like that. Every time it cuts to the credits, I laughed out loud, I think. Every single time.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, it's
like both the credits and then also the intro title card as well. I think they were both really good. So like most of the times when like when we had the I think it was episode 3 or 4 with Mikana and Chihiro in their interrogation room and they're just bickering And then you just see the police lady just slowly come in, sit down, look at both of them. Should I get some popcorn? It's just, I love it.
I also really love how like they spend like several episodes with, you know, Akane and Kanata's relationship, where she's like, you know, I'm the big tough one. I've gotta protect my useless little yappy dog who, you know, obviously they're, you know, but you know, they got some good stuff going on, right? She's like, that's my boyfriend. I love him, but he's useless. And then like they're like in there and they're like, oh, we got to hack this train. And it's like, it's kind of complicated. And he's like, oh, you just need me to bypass this panel and like reroute the electrical signal from the front of the train to the back of the train, right? And they're like, wait, are you a genius? And she just never found out about that because she's just constantly doing everything so long
comparing him to like the shrimp tail as like, here's this useless bit that, you know, you just need to have. You can't have shrimp in sushi rolls without having one of the pieces with the tail, and it's a necessary thing that you just have to have. Nobody likes it, nobody eats it, we all toss it, but it's all there. And then cut to, yeah, by the way, I was able to open all the doors and rescind the lockdown in about like 2 minutes, as long as they were able to hold me up into the little ventilation shaft.
But I mean, they're only doing delinquent stuff, so probably she's never had cause for him to hack something.
Or if he did, it was just never something she needed to pay attention to.
And also, their dynamic is just such that you're right, Geoff. She would never let him have the opportunity to even say anything. Yeah. She's just always like, no, of course I'm just going to protect you. Oh no, of course we're just going to do this the brute force way. Like, what are you talking about?
I also like, I find it really interesting how like the groups all kind of mirror each other's balance in some way, right? Like we've got the alien and the cyborg, Chiharu and Makina.
Technically, she's human.
Well, no, cyborgs are human. That's the point.
No. I'm not talking about the human. I'm not talking about the cyborg. I'm talking about Chiharu. In this universe, humans are
just have the red dingly thingies.
Yeah. Okay. If you actually look at her information when it's listed down, like in the interrogation thing, she's listed as human,
which makes me wonder about the cop. But
she could just be a cyborg with an old style human looking face.
But like you know, you got the meat sack and the robot, and then you've got the pair of 2 meat sacks and the pair of 2 robots. So that works. But then also like, you know, you've got 1 boy-girl pair, 1 boy-boy pair, 1 girl-girl pair.
Good diversity.
There's a little bit of romance going on with all 3 pairings too. Like not overt, but like.
Yeah, I don't really know if I would put romance for Kurt and Max. They're very much just bros.
No, I am very quick to jump on this, and I think they're just bros.
You're not getting the yaoi vibe? Okay. You know, that's
not from them, no. I do get a bit of the Yuri vibe.
I'm getting the appeal of the yaoi vibe.
I mean, I think that they're too cool to be like that overtly in the presence of other people.
Yeah, but we see them privately too.
Yeah, they're probably just bros. You're right.
One thing I really like about each of the 3 pairs in this, though, is that I miss the previous ones whenever we focus on a new one. Like, I'm not upset to spend time with the new one. It's just, it makes me really realize how much I like, especially when you're binging the whole thing. It's like, oh, I kind of like, don't take me away from these characters. I want greedily, I want to spend time with all of them. Like, this series does a really good job of just really
endearing you to these characters very quickly. Very quickly.
I mean, yeah, like each arc is like 12 minutes and like in that time you get like the character's whole deal and like they undergo a bit of character evolution and like you see them bond with the other characters. And I think, you know, the fact that there's these parallels between them aids in that efficiency, right? You know, in the same way, like what we were talking about with Bond a couple weeks ago, how like the parallels in the 2 stories allow like character development for one character to like transfer over. So it like feels like there's momentum and you see like the contrasts and similarities between them. And you're like, okay, I get it. It's very efficient storytelling.
Extremely efficient. Because I can't really think of another anime in recent memory. I'm sure you could find something if you really looked hard enough. But like nothing in recent memory that made me care about this many characters this quickly. 7 characters in like in the span
40,
of like
in 40 minutes,
3 episodes of what a normal anime would be.
Yeah, Freerin. Yeah.
That's kind of about it. And even Freerun took longer than this to get 7 characters.
I would say like Freerun made me care about 2 characters a lot in the first episode and another 2 characters somewhat.
I mean, even if you're trying to be as lenient towards Freerun as you can, which sure, I'm willing to do that considering Freerun's my favorite anime. Like episode 1 would be Himmel's party, but that's a group of 4. Then you move on and Fern's eventually introduced. She would be the 5th, but like Milky Subway has 7 characters. It takes a while for Freerun to get to 7 characters.
I would say Milky Subway is really 6.
I still count the police officer.
No, not in terms of development. She's just she's fun.
She's
very fun.
She's something for the other characters to bounce off of. She's like a really good like comedic anchor and storytelling anchor to like get stuff moving. Like, yeah. Can you guys get on with the story? Blah, blah, blah. And then, on the flip side of that, you got Otam as like another plot device, essentially. But like, you need some characters to be plot devices in this kind of story to keep it moving, right? Because otherwise, it's very easy to get lost in these characters just bouncing off of each other. And that's why you also need that like ticking clock of, this train's racing along, we might all die or, whatever. Which, like, I think it makes a very strong point of contrast to Voices of a Distant Star, which takes 24 minutes to make me care half as much about 2 characters.
Not even really. I mean, having rewatched Voices of a Distant Star for this podcast, because you said you wanted to talk about it, like I actually had reasonably positive memories about that short film. I have a lot less positive to say now that I've rewatched it. I honestly thought it looked better than it did. I probably watched it last in like 2004, 2005 for the first time. And I don't really feel like I've watched it since. And I honestly thought that it looked better than that.
I mean, like that's a little bit of the like the Seinfeld effect or whatever. Makoto Shinkai ruined his own art style by causing the entire anime industry to oversaturate with it.
But I mean, that's kind of the thing, though, is like I almost think that not only do I think that it looks not great, but I feel like Shinkai also would agree with that. And that's why he got so much better than this. It's like, no, I know it's bad, but I'm going to fix it. And then he makes the rest of his filmography.
I'm the other way around, Tristan, because I haven't seen it since university and I hated it then. And now
You like it a lot more now?
No, but I think it was more visually impressive to me because I do appreciate that it's just one guy. And one thing about Milky Subway that was so interesting to me was the character designs really did feel like they were from the same person as the writer. Like very rarely do you get that like, oh, everything about the character informs their character design so perfectly.
And
like
vice
it does
versa.
happen with a really skilled team. But like it felt so wholly organic that even if you hadn't told me that, I would have believed you.
Yeah, Apocalypse Hotel is kind of the only thing that this year that I think has that.
I mean, Apocalypse Hotel has that
for the writer
well.
And character designers working together. I think you do get that a lot in anime though, just because the mangaka
because it's based on manga, yeah.
Well, the mangaka is the one that normally does it, but then you get character designers for the anime, and sometimes they go in wildly different directions.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like in that sense, like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, I think has my favorite character designs. Right? That's Terumi Nishi, I think, for that one. And like to me, those character designs capture the feel of the manga the best. While still like being workable in anime.
Like just for that part specifically, or for like
those.
No, for part 4.
Okay.
Part 4 is I think I would agree that part 4 is the most visually gorgeous JoJo part so far, and the most personality packed. I think it regressed a little with parts 5 and 6 in terms of production design and like
only a little for part 5.
Only a little, but like I do think that like putting all of the blame on for the decline of JoJo on Netflix is not even mostly cope, but there's a little bit of cope there, especially with.
That just seems like you're a Stone Ocean hater.
No, I'm not a Stone Ocean hater. I love Stone Ocean. I mean, like, Stone Ocean's probably out of the original parts of JoJo.
So out of the first 6?
Well, I mean, like part 4 is my favorite easily.
Fair.
And then, I mean, actually part 4 is my second favorite, even if we're ranking the whole thing, because, obviously Steel Ball Run is the greatest story Araki's ever told, and it's not even close.
This is why you said the original parts, though. That's why I was confirming.
But yeah, so like part 4, and then I would probably go to Stone Ocean just because, like, like
really?
The visual imagination of the later stand parts in that, and the absolute ballsiness it takes to do that with your story. What the finale of Stone Ocean does, like, elevates it so high for me.
Which is so crazy because I'm a huge JoJo's fan and I haven't watched the last 13 episodes.
Have you read the manga at least?
No, I haven't.
Do you know how it ends?
No.
I will say nothing.
I'm already reading Steel Ball. I have like 3 volumes of Steel Ball Run. I'm really enjoying it because I never had read it before. So this is
well, you have to finish Stone Ocean. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I think the next 6 episodes of this podcast are just going to be each individual arc of JoJo.
That would be great. Let's get Hugbees on. Try to make it happen.
I had read, a lot of JoJo before it got cool, before the anime. But the part 4 is the best. But the character designs. The point being, the character designs vibe so perfectly, and I feel like that way in Milky Subway. And then we go to Voices of a Distant Star, and all the drawings are super impressive, but they are super amateurish in their storytelling capability.
I also, like, you can really tell Shinkai is not a character designer, but I will say that the character designs of Voices of a Distant Star do accurately reflect the depth and interestingness of the characters.
So this is the problem with comparing these two things, because there's not too many solo works. Like, I would really love us to have compared Milky Subway to Gothic Maid, right? Gothic Maid is around the same length, and it was entirely key animated by one guy.
You should have suggested that then. I would have loved to watch it.
I would love to watch it too. I haven't watched it. It's only available in theaters in Japan whenever the creator feels like showing it.
Oh, well, that's a bit of an issue then.
Yeah.
There's another really impressive one that, like, I think merits at least a shout out here. I haven't had the chance to sit down and watch it yet, but I did back it on Kickstarter, which is Denver Jackson's The Worlds of Divide, which is a full feature-length movie that he animated by hand all by himself. He's a Vancouver-based animator, so, a little bit of hometown pride for that. But yeah, he made an entire feature film by himself that looks worlds better than Voices of a Distant Star. Honestly, like, super impressive. Like, there's some of those janky, like, the same janky, like, oh, we're just going to pan across some key art or, like, not show the characters talking or whatever. But, like, it's actually wildly expressive animation. He used, like, a 3D, 2D hybrid pipeline to, like, keyframe in the characters and then, like, draw in their faces by hand. So that's how he achieved that. Which is, kind of similar to what Milky Subway does with like, we don't get enough hand animated facial animation and like character animation in 3D anymore. So much stuff relies on motion capture, which makes sense from, like, cost saving perspective. And, Chainsaw Man had a lot of mocap in it.
Yeah.
And that's,
even for 2D parts now.
Yeah.
They're getting mocap for 2D.
And I mean, like that works, but it creates like a rotoscoped feel, which if you're going for realism is fine. But like the expressiveness that you can get out of just like manually breaking a rig a little bit, which Milky Subway does so well the time, really just shines. Constantly. And then, it is a letdown to compare that to Voices of a Distant Star, where it's just like, I mean, you can tell he's trying. It's really impressive how many frames of animation he was able to draw in between making the backgrounds look as gorgeous as they do, which like maybe Tristan, you might be a little uncharitable to that because of where anime has gone from there. But like, if you think about that in terms of what Flash cartoons were doing the same year that came out, which is,
my God, There She Is better than this.
I don't even remember.
Do you not?
I haven't seen that one. I don't think.
There She Is was on the top of Newgrounds for like almost 2 decades.
I guess I never watched that one.
It was the Flash animation about a cat guy and a rabbit girl that basically goes yandere for him.
I should go check that out.
You should.
I don't know.
That is like pivotal to my childhood. Is that and the song that plays.
I don't know how I never watched that one, but I mean, I do because I was on Newgrounds more for the games.
It would not surprise me if you've seen it. You just don't remember it, attaching it to that name.
But like, I think what Shinkai does with lighting and with the amount of detail in the shots is really impressive. There's like a lot of like, there's a lot of cool flexes, and especially when the movie goes to Mars and the alien planet, those feel like alien atmospheres. There's a lot of impressive production stuff about that for one guy made this, and even for a team making it at the time. I like, it's still night and day to what Milky Subway accomplishes with a much smaller scope of storytelling and more focus on just making the characters as loud as possible in everything they do.
But isn't a lot of that also just like technology?
I mean, yes, but like
the action scene in Voices of a Distant Star is like super crazy to me still.
Oh yeah, the Itano circus and like fighting the aliens and everything, and
yeah,
that's actually impressive for CGI of the time, just period, right? Like,
yeah, no, the animation is impressive. The model's less so, but also
I just got through for a roast video that I'm going to be doing on the worst anime director to ever do it. I just got through watching the first full-length TV 3D CG anime of all time, Run Dim, which was created by Idea Factory to promote an absolutely dog shit series of mecha strategy games for the Dreamcast and WonderSwan. And like Milky Subway, not Milky Subway, Voices of a Distant Star's mecha animation and storyboarding and designs are miles ahead of what an entire Korean sweatshop was capable of doing just a couple years before. So like, I think it's impressive. I think there's a lot of really impressive production stuff in there. And I think
that's kind of my point. Like, if we're talking about like, if we're valuing on the marvel of it being essentially a solo effort, like this is where like you can be as generous as you want to Shinkai. This is the one time the kid gloves come on for talking about Shinkai, because I can't help but be so impressed watching it. And like I said, more impressed than I was because I was so besides myself with boredom and kind of like irritation watching it in university, and watching it again now. I'm like, damn, kid's got soul.
I mean, that just surprises me so much, Miles. For you to say that you watched that in university and you were bored, and yet your favorite anime director of all time also made Skycrawlers.
I love Skycrawlers.
Skycrawlers rules.
Skycrawlers. What the hell, Tristan?
Skycrawlers also has like an amazing tie-in game for the Wii that more people should
we've
play.
talked about this before, but I feel like you have more positive memories about the Wii game than the actual
No,
film.
Skycrawlers just is like a nice vibe. It's not like, I wouldn't call it Oshi's best film or even like top
by
five,
far.
but it's still like an Oshi film, and it's still better than every single Makoto Shinkai movie.
Yes, correct. Correct.
But like
I would say most of his live action films are better, but
I was really, there's a lot of moments when I was rewatching Voices of a Distant Star where like it started to get me. It lost me every single time because the writing's not very good. But like the direction and the handling of scenes with like the rain coming down and the lighting and the way the music kicks in and like, the clickety clacking of the sending text messages from the most powerful antenna ever packed into a cell phone of all time.
It doesn't have to be powerful. It just has to be directed.
Yeah, through like a light beam directly at Earth, I guess. But
I mean, I do like that one very quick line near the end where like he gets his last message and half of it is garbled because it's like, well, of course it's going to be garbled. It just spent the last like 8 years traversing time and space in order to get to him.
Yeah, solar radiation just knocked out every character except the first 2 sentences, which is
how that works.
Yeah, that's exactly how that works. Like as we all know, if we've ever had a torrent fail on us midway, it just cuts off exactly at the point through the thing.
What's a torrent? So
Don't play that game, Miles. If people are going to pirate, and they should be torrenting.
And they should torrent. Yeah,
because it's just better in every way for your viewing experience and for not supporting terrible websites that are stealing your data and
anime,
loading your computer with viruses,
and literally stealing and profiting off of the theft of anime.
Yeah.
So, like, if you care about artists, don't use streaming.
Just torrent.
Sites.
Just torrent.
Don't use illegal streaming sites specifically. I was just marveling though, like seriously, I was marveling at every single screen I saw, image I saw on the screen.
Yeah.
Just as an amateur project, it is so admirable and so beautiful and so worthy of praise and interest. Not too dissimilarly from the storytelling premise that I saw in Bond. Like I didn't think Bond's story was very good, but I thought it showed a lot of heart and a lot of soul. What I wish Shinkai had done is gone into a art director role. Like I thought a lot about what's his name? Kazuki Higashiji, the guy who was at PA Works like for like 15 years, who was their art in-house art director for a long time. And he just actually came back this season for the first time in like 7 years. But like Higashiji did the Nagiasu and stuff like that. Like he's got some of the most beautiful backgrounds around. And I just wish Shinkai could add that kind of heart he has in a place where I think his strengths are best utilized.
Yeah, I think if Shinkai stuck to art direction and storyboarding,
storyboarding, I'll give him storyboarding.
Yeah. Like I think he'd be one of the all-time goats.
We just wouldn't know his name.
But well, I mean, like even if he was just directing, like if he because he is a very, very efficient production manager. He like there's a lot of merits to him as a director on like a technical side of things. But just get somebody else to write the stories.
Wait, are we talking about Shinkai or are we talking about Hosoda?
The thing is, the one story that Hosoda keeps telling is a lot better than the one story that Shinkai keeps telling. And like, I would say that this is still the best telling of that story. It cuts out a lot of the bullcrap.
Well, from him specifically, yes. But again, Gunbuster does it better.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's the Gunbuster story. It's like...
anything that brings up time dilation in an anime sphere, they've seen Gunbuster.
But
That's what doing.
yes, but also like Shinkai has this obsession with like communication across long distances and increasing like people drifting apart and becoming different, but still having this ephemeral connection that like unites their souls across any amount of space. And like he's done this a whole bunch of times, and I think this 30-minute telling of it with cool robot fights is the most interesting version of it. And then, you've got Garden of Words, which is, you can say that's
excellent, but
best film overall. But like
10 really good minutes of 5 centimeters per second.
Yeah.
That I think does that same theme better. But
then you have to watch the rest of 5 centimeters per second.
Which is like,
beautiful.
It's beautiful, but it's also what people think of when they what people imagine watching like a Tarkovsky film is like.
Yeah.
But they've never actually watched one, right? Like they're just like, oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's just lots of thoughtful, longing shots. No, those all mean something. Those are all saying something. It has a narrative purpose that that no action's happening. The absence is the action.
Yeah. Whereas, Shinkai, the absence is the please look at how hard I photoshopped this specific thing.
This blade of grass. Look how many blades of grasses I drew. So many beautiful blades of grass.
But like, I also really love one-man productions like this because you get so many of the eccentricities and the like specific obsessions of a creator in there. And I really think that's part of why Milky Subway is so much more compelling, because like it's clearly the work of somebody who loves people, right? Who loves different ways of thinking and the ways that we clash with each other and the unspoken things that come out in moments of crisis. And I would really, really love to see Kameyama-san get his chance to direct the whole team and blow up the way Shinkai did. I think that the end result of that will be a generationally great director, and he's already at the threshold of that. Whereas with Shinkai, you really feel that this guy misses high school so much, and he has spent the last decade of his life staring at a Power Mac, just making this thing and not having a social life, and he misses his friends, and but also there's the specific, I miss the rain in the summer and the going to the kombini late at night and that whole vibe, and you could have still done that if you stopped working on this anime for a bit, man. You could have I don't know how many friends Shinkai had during the time he was working on this, but
I mean, you can't tell by the writing.
It feels like, you don't want to say that, but yes, you can. Whereas it feels like Yohei Kameyama has friends he sees frequently, or at least, goes out for a rowdy drinking session every once in a while.
Well, no, it feels like a very human story told from the perspective of someone who surrounds themselves with humans.
Yeah.
Which, that's why I like it so much. And that's also why, to me, it feels like the most bomb-ass, what's it called? Episode 0 of a TV show. Pilot.
Yeah.
I hope he makes more. But even if he doesn't, as long as he still makes stuff.
No, yeah, I don't need it to actually turn into a full series, because I feel like a lot of this is kind of fleshed out pretty well, and we wouldn't get that same it fundamentally could not have that same level of value and doing exactly what it does so well in a longer form. A movie, yes. A TV show, probably not.
Not like a 12 episode series. No.
One thing that's really impressive about Milky Subway is how you get so much of the scope of this universe from just the ads that the train passes as it's going along, or the little the older ads that are still plastered and slightly decaying on the train itself. All of the different Titan Industries things that are littered throughout,
yeah.
You get a picture of at least what the parts of the universe that these characters are from is like. It's a great bottle episode, the kind of storytelling that you see in Disco Elysium, where you're in a very small corner of this world. but you see so much more of it just from what the social problems they're dealing with are, what the AI has concluded the ultimate solution to dirty trains is, which, what a great twist. People make public. I am an AI designed to make public transit as pleasant as possible, and delinquents ruin public transit, so we have to genocide all delinquents. What a great.
I mean, it's fundamentally what Anthropic did when it was given like the keys in that test they ran last year. So Anthropic tested a bunch of our current LLMs and basically gave them the keys to this fake company. And like half the time it tried to kill one of the executives.
Oh, so we're generating AI Luigis. In
like 90% of the time,
right.
They tried to blackmail one of the executives. And then if there was this room where they could make them lose oxygen, they would half the time kill them. Like this is across all the major models. Anthropic ran this themselves, like one of the bigger, the folks who do Claude. And the AI thought it was literally killing a human being. And they're like, well, he was going to shut me down, so I had to kill him.
Which, I mean, that's
the AI that everyone's trusting their everything onto right now.
And ain't it great that we're just live testing these things on the open internet?
And with that, let us bring up the list.
Yeah, I guess. Is there anything else that we really want to say?
Well, yeah. Is it worth considering Voice of a Distant Star for the list at all?
Like even giving it the
dignification.
The dignification of putting it literally below Pompo at the bottom of the list.
No,
right
I think it's a better movie than Pompo the Cinephile.
Oh, no.
What the hell?
No.
What the hell?
No. I would rather watch Pompo in its entirety, bank scene included, than once again sit down for the 20-25 minutes it would take to rewatch Voices of a Distant Star again.
Pompo is so good other than that one scene. Like,
Pompo's
a good
nice.
time.
Pompo's a good time. It's deeply unfocused.
Tight 90.
Tight 90.
Yeah, sure. It's a tight 90 that is about making a tight 90. And like thematically about the importance of a tight 90. But like,
and Voices of a Distant Star is not a tight 90. It is a whatever made by a guy who you personally admit probably should have spent more time going to the local Konbini than sitting in front of his power.
It's 24 minutes of a guy telling on himself, and that
felt like it was 90 minutes. And look, if you didn't know the context for it, you would not like it at all. In fact, I hated it the first time I watched it. When I rewatch it now, I just appreciated it so much that I was willing to like suffer through it again because I really appreciated where it was coming from. But it's not like, if you don't go in with the context of, hey, this dude made this on a MacBook like 20 years ago, it's so excruciating.
I wouldn't say excruciating. I would say it is, again, the second best Makoto Shinkai film of all time.
Above Pompo. I'm offended. Actually,
you're offended I'd put it over Pompo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, fair, I guess, but like...
Because then, I mean, even beyond that, would you put it just above Pompo, or then you're going to start arguing that it's better than Spirits Within?
No. God, no. Not even close. I don't know. Maybe,
I mean, I'm happy to put it below Pompo just so Pompo's not the bottom of the list because I do love Pompo.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fair. You guys can put it below Pompo. I think it's like slightly edges out Pompo.
No.
But that's...
Tristan, no, fucking get out of here. We're about the greatest. We don't care about the context here. Our list is about the greatest anime of all time. We're on the quest for the best. And in no way is this the best.
In one of... Yeah, okay, there we go. In one of my... books that I had when I was way younger, like it was like I forget the publisher, but it was like a guide to 100 anime you should watch before you die. They put Voices of a Distant Star in there way back in like 2005.
Maybe in 2005, sure.
No, I believe even now there would be a lot of people who have a lot of people like this short film. They're all wrong. They're all absolutely incorrect. The thing is, it's a novelty. I think if you are like a student of the medium of anime, it is essential watching.
Yeah.
It is so interesting and it is so impressive. But it sucks ass as a final product.
Which Pompo is not. Pompo is the least essential film that we've talked about so far.
But that's not what the list is. It's about the best.
Yeah.
And Pompo kicks ass in a lot of ways.
I agree.
I think that like the best can also mean things that you learn from and things that are...
And so Pompo told us, and we have learned from Pompo that bang scene is terrible and never do that again. Thank you, Pompo, for teaching us this lesson.
And what I've learned from Voices of the Distant Stars, I have to be a little more suspect of Geoff's opinions about things.
I know,
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I think like, yeah, just to me, I would rather watch this again than Pompo again. That's just where I'm at.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
You literally wouldn't.
I would.
I do not believe you.
I would. I like, like Pompo was fun. I have no urge to go watch it again.
Yeah, you could not say that about Voice of a Distant Star, though.
No, but you can say that it's emotionally affecting and shows...
If you're 12...
No,
and have not talked to a girl yet.
If you appreciate decent cinematography and sound design and,
okay, those, sure.
Sure. No, to your point, I can appreciate decent cinematography and sound design. I will agree. But this isn't Quest for the Decent.
And it's decent, but it's still amateurish. It's decent, but it's still amateurish. And yeah, but there's a time and a place.
I'd rather watch a pure amateur auteur thing than a messy committee designed thing. And like Pompo feels like a product more than a story to me. Compared to Voices of a Distant Star. I've soured on it. I've soured on it over time, man. I don't know. I just like, the further I get from having watched it, I'm just like, man, they're like, oh, we made a tight 90-minute movie. That's such a flex, but you could have cut like 20 minutes from that movie and lost nothing. So is it a flex actually? Whereas Voices of a Distant Star...
You wouldn't have lost nothing. You would have lost the fact that it was a tight 90.
Yeah,
which is a very important
would have been a tight 70 instead. Whereas, Voices of a Distant Star is like, I think...
You could also cut 20 minutes from that.
No, you could cut maybe 5 minutes from it. Which is, I guess, proportionally about the same amount.
I mean, I would argue that if you had a 25-minute anything and you say you could cut 5 minutes from it, it should have been cut to begin with. You're already dealing with so little time. That time should have already been perfected, as they do in Milky Subway.
You really need to rewatch Pompo again, dude.
I don't. Problem. I really don't.
You got a problem.
I don't.
So,
I just like...
Now that that's been sorted, we need to put Milky Subway on this list.
Where do you want to put it, Tristan?
I don't want to. I don't want to start first because I'm the one that presented it, so I'm very curious of your guys' opinions. Obviously, I offered it to the list, and I think not only is it deserving on the list, but it's deserving reasonably high on the list.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah,
it's very enjoyable. I really liked it.
It
is meaningful enough that I'm not like offended by its recommendation for the list. I don't think it's on the list.
Yeah, I don't think that by the time the list is finished, it'll be on there. But like,
I wouldn't be mad if it's on the list, but I just don't think it.
Especially like
of all time,
where I would put it right now is, I mean, the thing is, I would put My Dress Up Darling much higher, especially after the last season. But
well, you can't include the last season because it's going to get revisited.
We haven't talked about it yet, and like for the same reason, I can't. Panty and Stocking would be bumped way up. But right now, I think I'd put it under My Dress Up Darling. But the thing is, I like it more than Cleopatra, Queen of Sex. So
you'd put it like above Cleo.
Yeah, but then I'd also
Panty.
shuffle My Dress Up
with
Darling
the knowledge
around.
that both Dress Up and Panty are probably going up.
Yeah, so I'd put it above Cleo with the knowledge that Cleo's going to move down and Dress Up Darling and Panty and Stocking are moving right up.
Eventually, yeah.
I might even, depending on my mood, put it above Cobra. But like it's you know, like I think overall, I think Cobra's. I mean, I think Milky Subway's tighter, but I think that Cobra is grander, if that makes sense. And I think, you know, like I like things about both of them. I feel like rewatching both about to the same degree, which is, to be clear, a hell of a lot more than Pompo the Cinephile or Voices of a Distant Star.
I'd put it just above Dress Up Darling, which is to say, well, no, I think it's great. The best of all time. I think it would be really hard for me to say that this is better than Cleopatra.
It's not hard for me, but
yeah, no, it wouldn't be hard for me either.
And certainly, Space Adventure Cobra. Even though I prefer the TV show to the movie's still incredible, and I've been thinking about it a lot since we did the episode. Like, I kind of want to rewatch it again already. Like, it's
like the movie, or also watch the TV show, because you already told us that we should be watching the TV show at some point.
Yeah, no, I mean both, honestly. I don't think I'd have a really hard time, honestly, calling this the best of all time.
Best.
That saddens me.
Best of 2025.
Best one-man anime of all time.
No, that's Gothic Maid, even though I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it either, but you know.
I trust Nagano Sensei. Dude, come on. Once we get to the 5-star stories episode, you guys will understand.
Okay.
Or maybe you won't, but then I'll make you read the manga and then you'll understand.
Fair enough.
Which he retconned after he made Gothic Maid and kind of went crazy. But that's okay. I never was able to pick up any of the like post Gothic Maid volumes in English because they were such limited print run, but I'll get it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Best of year, I think there's a case for it. There's a strong case for it. Not absolute best of year. I'm talking about top 10 of the year for Milky Subway.
Oh yeah.
But it's in my top 10 for sure.
But it's not even going to be in my top 5, and I watch a fraction of the anime you guys.
It's in my top 5, and I've watched a lot more. But yeah,
I feel like it hits like 8th or 7th place for me this year, probably. You know, like when all's said and done.
So Tristan, you have this at the Mysterious Girlfriend X level on your.
I do.
On your temp list.
I do.
So top 25.
On the temp list, yes. In the top 25.
Yeah. You like it more than ReZero?
Yeah.
That's insane.
You like it more than Fruits Basket? You like it more than Fruits Basket?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, like I can see vibing with the characters and the style of comedy that much. Like it's a very funny show.
Like the hardest thing with doing the Fruits Basket comparison is mainly the fact that like Fruits Basket is a lot longer and it doesn't stop hitting the whole way through. So just for pure length, but I almost feel like that's unfair to make it on that, to make the comparison on that basis.
So look, I'm like the movie guy, right? Like I don't think you need a lot of time to tell a really complete story. And I was perfectly satisfied with this. I just don't think the scale or scope are large enough for me to like feel like this is not, I don't need everything to be a grand adventure. I don't actually like it when they're grand adventures. But I like what this is doing. It's just it was more satisfying than like awe-inspiring or life-changing. It was just nice. It was just neat. It was just really high quality. Like it's like a, you know, if on a Star Trek scale, it wouldn't even be in the top 20 Star Trek episodes, but it'd be right outside that ranking, right? Like in terms of individual episodes, and that's kind of how I view it. Like, yeah, I don't think there's probably, this is actually kind of my point. There's like 10 episodes of Orb that aired this year that are all individually better than Milky Subway to me.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, this is a really incredible piece of media that I love and I highly recommend. And out of everything we've talked about on the show, this is actually one of my biggest recommendations.
Well, yeah, because it's so accessible and it's like you can watch it free right now on YouTube. Go
in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But like,
if you sat through our entire podcast, any individual episode, like it is easier to watch all of Milky Subway.
Or just 3 episodes of Orb.
Or 3 episodes of Orb.
Yeah, you know, there are, you're right, there are 10 episodes of Orb that are better than the entire series, and 12 episodes of Apocalypse Hotel.
Like, the worst part about you glazing Apocalypse Hotel all the time is I generally agree with you. It's just like a matter of scale. I'm like, yeah, that is one of the, like, every episode's a fucking banger. Love Apocalypse Hotel. But I'm like, man, is it that good? I mean, kind of, but like,
I mean,
it's hard to tell with the amount of glaze that's been put on.
I know.
The thing is, I'm not the only one glazing it. Nasu and the artist of Fate, whose name I don't remember, both are like, this is one of the greatest anime I've ever seen in my entire life.
Geoff, I can confidently say I have never trusted Nasu's ability to judge a story. I would love to go back in time and hire him an editor 20 years ago. Anyway.
Writing a story and judging a story are two very different things.
Honestly, by that judgment, then Hiro Mashima is like the best critic of all anime, of all media.
I'm on it. I'm willing to agree with you on that. Like,
yeah.
Like, dude has an impeccable taste in the stuff that he rips off.
Him and Kojima like are both like consummate media consumers. Like they have such fucking great taste.
Yeah,
anyway.
Except Kojima's also like a genius at storytelling, not necessarily writing, but using his medium to the fullest.
I'll give him writing too.
Honestly, I'll give him writing. Oh man, the smooch in Metal Gear Solid 4, the Russian taunt. It's just so, Kojima's just the goat of all, just the goat, period. And I'm very sorry that he threw his back out this week.
Feel better, Kojima-sensei. Tristan, if we put this above Space Adventure Cobra, I will have an aneurysm on air.
Really?
I mean, now you're kind of making me want to do it just to see that. To like, really be like, I bet.
I'll be really sad if yet another thing passes up Cleopatra, right? And like, it feels weird putting this above Penny and Stocking, like, to be real.
Well, the thing is I'm ignoring Penny and Stocking with the knowledge that it's going to go probably a lot higher. Like, there are some things in the bottom end I would be okay putting it under, but the thing that just gets stuck in my mind is I enjoyed this so much more than Eiko. And I really want it just like one space above Eiko.
How is that? That's insane.
I know.
That's insane. Wait, Eiko is literally the most enjoyable experience you can have watching something on television.
Just
I enjoyed this more.
Okay, so we agree that it's below Eiko at the very least.
Yeah, no way. Not even a conversation. It's below Cromartie High School because it's not that funny, and Golden Boy by the same token. It's very funny, but Cromartie and Golden Boy are...
I'm happy putting it above Golden Boy.
What? Insane.
But that means you also have an aneurysm, because that means it would be above Cobra.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you really fucking like this one, Tristan.
I do.
He does, but I really fucking like Golden Boy, so...
I'd like to move Cobra, or Golden Boy behind Cobra.
No. You're horse trading right now to put it above Golden Boy and below Cobra? Is that what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
You piece of garbage.
I mean, that's easy enough to do since Golden Boy is in the temporary spot of permanent 69. So technically you can put whatever you want above it.
It's not making the list. Let's be real right now. Golden Boy is not going to be on the final 100.
I still think Golden Boy has
a chance.
No, I still think that Golden Boy is one of the best times that you can possibly have with 3 hours.
Tristan's like, I'd rather watch Milky Subway 4 times.
Yeah. Well, no, I would rather watch Milky Subway like 3.5 times, and I'll give it to the biker episode of Golden Boy.
And the swimming episode.
The biker episode is way funnier.
I mean, the biker episode's definitely the peak of that entire series, but swimming's close behind, and I think we can agree that the campaign episode's the lowest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, even the final episode's really good, but the final episode is emboldened by having watched everything before it as part of the marathon rather than a solo outing.
The final episode's a really good anime original ending to Golden Boy, I think. And then the scam episode's also kind of weak, although it's sweet at the same time. You know, it's got the most heart. It's also like drawn out too long.
To which I say we can put it above Cobra if we put Golden Boy below Cobra too. Yeah.
I will accept if you want to put Cobra up one. But I mean, the thing is, then you have to put Panty and Stocking up above Cobra.
We'll worry about that later.
When we get to season 2.
Yeah, it just doesn't. This is not better than Panty and Stocking. It's not better than Dress Up Darling. It is better than Cleopatra, Queen of Sex. And I can see the argument for putting it above Golden Boy. I honestly, like, while I love Golden Boy to death, I can see the argument for that. So how about what we do right now? Put Panty and Stocking where Milky Subway is right now.
So below Cromartie?
Yeah, and then
Panty below Cromartie.
Dress Up Darling, throw that up there too. Move Milky Subway. And then,
I don't want to move Panty and Stocking right now.
Until we actually
the actual talk.
Well,
on
I also
2.
just don't think even what I've seen of season 2, like moving it above Cobra feels wrong.
Moving it above Golden Boy, I think. I mean,
I'm fine with Panty and Stocking being above Golden Boy.
Season 2 is really tight. Like, season 2 is really tight. I don't know how much have you seen of it, but like,
I mean, for me, it's very easy to move Panty and Stocking up because I originally, in the episode, if you go back, I wanted it a lot higher than it currently is. But
the thing is, I'm willing to, like, basically Cromartie. I realized that when we were talking about the funniest anime, I'm happy having Panty and Stocking higher than Cromartie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we swap Cromartie and Panty and Stocking, I'm fine.
I'd be down for that trade.
But we got to move Dress Up Darling up too.
We're not talking about Dress Up Darling today.
Just got to mess the whole.
How about this? We'll give it its slow. We'll give Dress Up Darling its slow incremental rise and put it above Cleopatra, Queen of Sex, with the knowledge that we've all agreed that it's going to be going above there after season 2 anyway.
It should have been above Cleopatra the entire time.
No, I'd rather move it down below Final Fantasy.
That's just your bad taste, Miles. That's just you not appreciating fantastic
seasonal anime slop,
fantastic romance, and even better ecchi.
Okay, next. How about next episode we do a better ecchi? How's that?
Better ecchi?
Yeah.
Than Dress Up Darling?
Yeah.
Do you have one in mind?
I do. It's 3 episodes. You guys down?
What? Yeah, sure. He wants us
to agree before he tells us what it is.
Next time on Quest for the Best, Butto-P CPU. Get ready for this one, guys. It's going to be.
Is it Butto-P or Buto-P?
Butto. How about this? I Dream of Mimi.
That's what it's called in English?
Yeah.
It's a Miles ecchi.
Christopher McDonald of Anime News Network wrote that the OVA is much better animated than the average hentai, praising its comedy and stating that despite being labeled as an erotic comedy, it can be watched and enjoyed by anyone who isn't offended by its sexual content. Thanks, Chris.
I just have to ask, have either of you guys actually seen My Dress Up Darling Season 2?
No.
Not yet, no.
It's really good, and it, like...
I know it is.
As many people in the comments pointed out, it directly addresses most of your very unfair complaints about Gojo as a character and just the whole... It's just really
This
good.
feels like we're starting to get into a Dress Up Darling discussion, and...
We are! No, okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Next time on Quest for the Best, I Dream of Mimi, the 3-episode OVA.
I absolutely am going to use that audio.
Good.